Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello students, welcome back. So in the last lecture we have discussed about integers.
Okay, so now we will do properties of addition and subtraction of integers. The first one is closure under addition. In this property, we will do some statement, we will solve them and we will observe something. Closure under addition means if I add any two integers, the answer is always going. Any two integer I add, answer is always going to be an integer. Like in case of whole number. Whenever we add two whole numbers, we are always getting what? A whole number. So let's see in this. 17 plus 23, they have already added it and it is 40. What is the result? 40 is also one of the integers. So yes, the result is an integer. Let's solve this. Minus 10 plus 3. So minus and plus would be minus. Subtract 10 and 3, you get 7. Sign will be of the greater number. So the number is minus 7. Is it an integer? Yes, it is an integer. So we will write the result is an integer. So see, if we add two positive integers, one negative and one positive integer. Similarly here minus 75 plus 18. Whatever you subtract, you are going to get the answer is negative because the greater number is 75. Now you need to subtract it. So here we will get minus 57. Is it an integer? Yes, it's an integer. Okay. Then 19 plus minus is minus. Sign will be of the greater number, that is 25. The answer is minus 6. So yes, the result is an integer. Minus 27 and plus 27, it will be 0. Is 0 an integer? Yes, it is an integer and it is neither positive nor negative. Keep that in mind. Minus 20 plus 0, we will be left with minus 20 and yes, it is an integer. The last statement now we are left with. It says minus 35 plus minus is minus. So we are going to get minus 45. Minus 35 minus 10 is minus 45 and yes, it is also an integer. So you see, whatever is the case, you have two positive integers, you have one positive and one negative, you have both of them as negative. So whenever you are going to add, the answer is always going to be an integer. So we can say, since addition of integers gives integers, we say integers are closed under addition. In general, for any two integers a and b, a plus b will always be an integer. I hope this property is clear to you. Now we will do the second property, closure under subtraction. Again, we will be doing some of the statement and the observation. 7 minus 9. What does it give me? Minus 2. Is this an integer? Yes. 17 minus will become plus. So we have to add them. 7 and 1, 8. 2 and 1, 3. So we get 38. Is this an integer? Yes, it is an integer. Minus 8 minus will become plus. So minus 8 plus 14, the answer is 6. So yes, the result is an integer. Minus 21, minus and minus here would be plus. So minus 21 plus 10. Minus 11. Yes, it is an integer. It's a negative integer. 32 minus and minus will again get plus. So let's add them. 7 and 2 will be 9. 3 and 1 would be 4. 49, is it an integer? Yes, it is a positive number. It is an integer. Minus 18, minus and minus would become plus. Minus 18 plus 18 is 0. Yes, 0 is a integer. Minus 29 minus 0, that means we are subtracting nothing from minus 29. So we'll be just left with minus 29 and yes, it is an integer. Students, what we have observed, whether we subtract positive, negative, one positive and one negative integer, we are always getting the answer as an integer. We can say if a and b are two integers, then a minus b is also an integer. Right? It is also an integer. Clear? Moving ahead, we have the commutative property. Okay, so let us just focus on this, or before on this, let me give you one example, commutative property. If I have 5 plus minus 3, that means I am adding 5 and minus 3. What will be my answer? 5 minus 3 is 2. What if I do minus 3 plus 5? Will I get 2 is the answer? Yes. If I do a plus b or b plus a, what I am getting? The answer is same. Let's try some examples. Just see here, are these equal? Minus 8 plus minus 9. Let's try. Minus 8 plus minus would be minus, so it will become minus 17. Similarly, this one minus 8 and minus 9. So it will be minus 17. So they both are same. So yes, they are equal. What about this one? Minus 23. Let's try out here. Minus 23 and plus 32. Also 32 minus 23. So we see 32 is of plus and is greater. So sign will be of greater number. So from 32, you are going to subtract 23. How much will be left? Think about it. We have minus 23 and plus 32. So we will be left with 9, here also 9. So yes, they are equal. Similarly, this is going to give us the answer as minus 45. So yes, they all are equal. So yes, the addition is commutative, right? So what can we say? We can say that two integers a and b, a plus b is equal to b plus a. That means addition is commutative, right? What about the subtraction? Okay, if I do 5 minus 3, okay, what will I get? 2. But if I do 3 minus 5, I will get minus 2. So are these two equal? No. A minus b here is not equal to b minus a. So we can say subtraction is not commutative for integers.
Next property that we are going to discuss is associative property. So look at these two numbers or these two statements. In the next one, minus 5 is written outside this bracket, if you see, outside the square bracket, and these are three integers, minus 5, minus 3 and minus 2. All three are negative integers and we are going to add them. So here also again the same set of integers is there and we are adding. Here what we are doing, first we are clubbing or we are grouping minus 3 and minus 2, and here we are grouping minus 3 and minus 5. Whatever the addition will come, we will add minus 2 to it. And here whatever will be the sum of minus 3 and minus 2, what we will do? We will add minus 5. Let's try it out. So minus 5 plus minus 3 and minus 2, we know it will become how much? Minus 5? Yes, minus 3 and minus 2 is minus 5. So minus 5 plus minus is minus 5 and gives us minus 10. Here if you solve, so minus 5 plus minus is minus. So we will mention here minus only. Okay. Let's write minus 3. Inside the bracket we have this and then we have plus minus 2. So first of all we will do minus 5 and minus 3, that will give us minus 8. Plus and minus is minus 2. So what we get? We get it as minus 10. In both the scenarios you see the answer is minus 10. So what we can say? That the addition of integers is associative. Let us use the number line for finding out the sum. First of all, minus 3 and minus 2, we will reach to minus 5. Right? First you have to solve this and you will reach to minus 5. So what will you do? First, minus 3 means you will go 3 steps towards left and then 2 more steps. So you reach minus 5 and in minus 5 you have to add minus 5. That means again we have to move to the left side 5 step, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Where do we reach? Minus 10. Similarly, we can do this for the second one as well. As you can see here, what we have done, minus 5 and minus 3, that gives us minus 8. So first of all, from 0 you will go 5 steps back, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then again 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, you reach to minus 8, and minus 2 again you have to do. So you will go 2 steps again towards your left, so you get to reach at minus 10 in both the cases. Let us now again consider 3 integers, which are minus 3, 1 and minus 7. Okay, let's first solve this one. We have minus 3 and we have grouped together 1 and minus 7. We are doing the addition of 1 and minus 7. So we will get minus 3 plus. What will be 1 plus minus is? Minus 1 minus 7. What is the answer that we get? Minus 6. Now, minus 3 minus 6 will give us minus 9. Similarly, solving the second part, which is minus 3 plus 1, which will give us minus 2, and then we have minus 7, okay, minus 2 and minus 7. First, you will go from 0, 2 steps towards your left side on the number line, and then 7 more steps, you will reach to minus 9. So, is this sum equal to this? Yes, we have seen it, they both are equal, which shows the associative property of addition of integers. Whether you add a plus b and then add c to it, or you do a separately and add b plus c together, you are going to get the same answer in both the cases. So, what we can say? We can say that for any integers a, b and c, a plus b plus c is equal to a plus b plus c. So, whatever way we add, we are going to get the same answer. So, what we say at the last? That associative property is applicable to the addition of integers. Okay, now we will discuss about additive identity. So, we will observe these and we are going to fill them first to get to know what is additive identity. So, if I add minus 8 plus 0, what is the answer? The same answer I get by adding 0 into it. So, what is the answer? Minus 8, the same integer we received. Here also, if you add 0 to minus 3, the answer would be 0 to minus 23, then the answer would be minus 23. Similarly, here the answer is going to be minus 59 and here it is minus 61. Here also we want minus 61. That only can be possible when I place 0 here. Here we have 0 plus minus is minus, so we are going to get minus 8 as the answer. Here again 0 plus minus 37, we are getting the same number. Every time we are getting the same integer if you observe. And here if I have to get the same integer, I'll have to add minus 43 to it. And here if it is 0, then I can write any number here. I can just mention any integer here, 43, 44, 47, whatever, and I'll get the answer as same. So what do we observe? When we add 0 to the integers, then we get the answer as the same integer. So can we say 0 is the additive identity for integers? Yes. So in any integer, if we add 0 or if we add integer to 0, then what do we get? The same integer. So 0 is the additive identity for integers. Okay, so we're gonna try these things. Just see here, write a pair of integers whose sum gives. So we have to write pair. Pair means we have to give two integers, students. Whose sum, that means we have to tell two integers, if we add them, it should give us a negative integer. There are many, like if I say minus 5, okay, and I am adding minus 3 to it, what would be the answer? It would be minus 8. So yes, these are two integers, minus 5 and minus 3, and their summation is equal to minus 8, which is also a negative integer. right? Okay, now they are saying pair of integers whose sum gives us 0. So if I write minus 43 plus 43, will I get 0? Yes. So two integers I have given. If I take negative of one integer and add that into that particular integer, like I took 43 and I took negative of 43, which is minus 43, and I am adding both of them, what is the answer? 0. So the pair is minus 43 and 43. The third part, an integer smaller than both the integers. That means when you add both the integers, you should get a number that is smaller than. So in the first case, in the first part, that we have taken the example as minus 5 and minus 3. So minus 5 and minus 3, when we add, we get minus 8. Minus 8 is smaller than minus 5 as well as minus 3, if you observe. So we can write the same example in this case as well. Minus 8 is smaller than minus 3 as well as minus 5. In the D part, they are asking an integer smaller than only one of the integers. So you have to tell any integer that is smaller than any one integer. So if I write, suppose, minus 5 plus 1. And what will be the answer? The answer would be minus 4. So minus 4 is smaller than 1, but minus 4 is not smaller than minus 5. It is greater than minus 5, right? So we can say these are two examples of integers. When we add them, we are getting an integer which is smaller than only one of them. Like minus 4 is smaller than only 1 and not minus 5. In the fifth example, we have to tell an integer. We should get the sum as an integer greater than both the integer. Okay, the sum should be greater than both the integers. So we can take any example like 6 and 3. These are two integers, and if we add them, we are getting 9. 9 is greater than 6 as well as 3. It is greater than both the integers. Okay. Let's do the second question now and think a little bit more carefully in this one. Okay, so what are they asking us? First one is a negative integer. Okay, first one, a pair of integers whose difference gives. So you have to tell two integers, and when you are subtracting them, you are getting the answer as a negative integer. So if I say you have minus 3 and 3. Okay, minus 5 and 3. So what we are doing? We are subtracting minus 5 and 3. What will be the answer? Minus 8. So we have given two integers minus 5 and 3, and when we subtract them, we get the answer as minus 8, which is a negative integer. Now we should get 0, pair of integers. It should the difference should give us 0. So we can always write 43 minus 43. So what we are doing? We are actually subtracting. Okay, so we are getting 0. Okay, now the third part. An integer smaller than both the integers. So this integer is smaller than both the integers. So if I take 5 and 3, 5 minus 3 will give me 2 as the answer. 2 is smaller than 5 and 3, both of it. Now an integer greater than only one of the integers. So think about it carefully. You need the sum, or you need the difference to be greater than one of the integers. We can take 8 minus 1, that is 7. So I see 7 is greater than 1, but 7 is not greater than 8. It is smaller than 8. So I need the answer as an integer that is greater than only one of the integers. So 7 is the integer which is greater than 1, you see, and smaller than 8. Okay. The last one, an integer greater than both the integers. You should get some answer that should be greater than both of the integers. Think about it. So we can always take, suppose 5 I take, and I take minus 2. If I am taking the difference, what will I get, students? I will get 7, and 7 is greater than 5 as well as minus 2. So there can be multiple examples for such questions. So you can figure out what to write in the examination. It should be correct, and do read the statements carefully while solving these. Okay, so here is something we have. You have to write again pair of integers. First, whose sum is minus 3? You have to tell two integers A and B whose sum when you add, you get the answer as minus 3. Think about such two pairs. There can be many. Suppose I write minus 5 and 2. What you will get? Minus 3. Minus 5 and 2 are two integers. When I am adding them, I am getting the answer as minus 3. So this is the solution for A part. Now B part is difference is minus 5. So when you do A minus B, you should get the answer as minus 5. Okay. So what if I write minus 8 and minus 3? You will write it as minus 8, okay, and plus 3. It will give you minus 5 as the answer. So the two integers are minus 8 and minus 3. Similarly, you have to tell two integers whose difference is just 2. It is very easy. You can take 4 minus 2, that will give you 2. You can take minus 4 plus 6, okay, so or just 6 minus 4, that will also give you 2. So like this you can give the example, because they are asking for difference, so we will write it in this way, plus 6 and minus 4. We'll write down the difference. So difference of 18 and 16, like this you can write many. There are so many integers that we can take up. Now the sum is 0. Think about the two integers, their sum should be 0. We can write minus 43 plus 43. These are two separate integers and we are getting addition as 0. Okay, I hope this makes sense and is clear to you. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you.